What's up, guys? FrugalBC here. Today we got a slew of Algorand news, including a short update on the Gainify situation, some news from Astro Explorer, the Realms zombie game is coming out soon, a great March for Algorand, so we're going to look at that, Para Wallet adding upgrades, and a new super app adding Algorand, all that on today's FrugalBC. So guys, if you like this kind of content, you like what I'm doing here, please hit that like and subscribe button. Now remember, you don't actually have to smash it. You can press it gently and it works just fine that way too. Channel members get these videos before anyone else, so if you want to check that out, it starts at only $1. You can find that in our community tab. And we are brought to you by non-fungible domains. Guys, if you want that .algo address, it makes doing everything in Algorand so much easier. Let's be honest, you're not going to remember all those letters and numbers. I know I'm not. Check that out. They got vaults, segments, non-fungible domains in the description below. And we are brought to you by Marcus Aurelius, a meme coin and NFT project on the Algorand blockchain. These guys are doing this really cool thing where they're spreading the word about stoicism through NFTs and meme coins, and it's just a really cool project. I really enjoy it, so check them out in the description below. Big shout out to both of our sponsors, but let's get to today's show. And just to start off with, Algorand having a really good March. So why don't we dive into this news here? And this is right from the Algorand Foundation themselves. Algorand in March 2025, 24.6% up on MAUs. That is monthly active users. 26.3% stablecoin market cap. Now that fluctuates a lot for various reasons, but always good to have some stablecoin action going on. And 19% smart contract deployments. We didn't mention the price, and that's, well, for a very good reason. It's been a little flat for all cryptocurrency, including Algorand, but actually doing pretty well recently compared to some of the other ones. It's actually went up to market cap, was in like 46, I think, at one point. So not all bad, but yeah. And you can see the whole insights report here, but these numbers are worth taking an eye on. Actually, let's just see if there's anything else interesting. Yeah, network went up a little bit, month and more. Total wallets improved. So there's other stuff they didn't even point to. Not so good in the TVL, but remember, TVL in a lot of ways is a function of price, and you can see that because you have TVL in US dollar coin that went down for that reason, but TVL and Algorand actually went up to 11.47%. So in other words, people putting more Algorand, locking it into programs on Algorand, but because of the dollar amount, just because prices have gone down for all cryptos, you know, not so good for that. And that was back to March 25th, so numbers are probably a little bit different. RWTVL is actually up a little bit too, which is cool. They mentioned the stablecoin market cap numbers went from 107 back to 135. It had been at like 120 some, and then it dropped. Sometimes people park cash on the side. That's the whole point of you need stable coins in your ecosystem, so you can park on the side a little bit. Yeah, contracts deployed, talked about that. New assets created 6% up, so people are making more of them meme coins, more different types of coins. Yep. Also a little bit increase. Algo Foundation. I assume these are, I don't know, views. Is that their followers? Oh, that's probably follower count. YouTube, yeah, their YouTube is crushing it. That's great. Even Instagram going up. I have Instagram that's more like personal. I don't have like I don't see much benefit in doing a FrugalBC Instagram. Like, what do? You want more pictures of me? Yeah, but you guys see enough of me, right? If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, let's get to the next news item. And I got a short little update on Para Wallet adding more upgrades. You know, we do this one all the time, but that's because they're always adding upgrades, which is really, really cool. Here we are, big news. The Para Explorer account page has been upgraded with these awesome new features: consensus stats and eligibility checks, total staking rewards earned, minimum balance requirement displayed, and charts optimized for larger accounts. Visit Para Explorer to check out these fantastic upgrades. So this is actually on the Para Explorer, not the wallet, my bad, but it's made by Para, so you get the idea. Yeah, I just like to see that these guys are always building more stuff. They're always adding to what they're doing, and I really appreciate that. I had this one bookmarked earlier. I wonder did I talk about this one before? I'm not sure. I might have, but worth checking out anyway. Let's get to the next news item. and that this new super app, which is like an app that uses multiple blockchains, so you could call it multi-chain, is now integrated with Algorand. So I think this is really cool. And that super app is called Galaxy, spelled Galaxe. Excited to announce our integration with the Algorand Foundation with instant finality, low fees, and 100% uptime. The L1 Algorand protocol is enabling secure global scalability. Ecosystem builders are driving innovation across payments, DeFi, RWAs, identity, and more. So this is obviously aimed at their audience. And what is it? It's a decentralized super app powered by Gravity Chain, home to Galaxy Quest, Galaxy Passport, and Alva app. And you can explore the whole thing on Telegram. I don't use Telegram. I know people have asked about it sometimes. Michael Jordan, friend of the channel, very excited. Altcoin Queen saying, let's go. I use the F-bomb, which we're not going to repeat on the channel. We'll save that for afterwards when I look at all my mistakes. So Generation Infinity. Genfinity, I would love to interview you guys on the integration and showcase Galaxy. I'm actually working on a partnership with Generation Infinity or Genfinity. So hopefully that'll come to fruition soon. I'm working on another partnership too. Just not sure I can announce it yet, but it is coming. Yeah, we're gonna have to explore this app more because it's pretty cool, I think. Now, you guys know I'm a big fan of Astro Explorer. It's a retro arcade game. It's so simple. You just buy a Bork or a Zerker NFT and you can go play these retro games. Really fun. And it's one of the, when I talk about Web3, you know, I've been sour on Web3 games sometimes, but Astro Explorer is one of the ones I think is actually doing things the right way. They're not just trying to extract value from their users. They just built a really cool little platform and it's fun, and I think you should support it. But they made some upgrades here, so let's take a look. Updates to Gravity Gauntlet by AlgoTurtle. Difficulty increased, more so for the compete mode rather than the explore mode. The sprite can now wrap around the screen. Fun. Thanks, GT. Official link in bio to play, win, and earn, and join the committee. Now, I have, so what's cool about this game, you get, for each NFT that you own that is connected, so Bork or Zerker, that gives you basically 1 play per hour. And then you can also just play the competition mode. You can do that as much as you want. And it was the little, they call it Space Vikings, but it kind of looks like the old school Galaga plus the old school, I guess not really Space Invaders. Yeah, more Galaga or Galaxian, kind of similar into that vein. And then this one you can play too. Now this one is hard as F already. I really struggle playing this game. I have earned raffle tickets, because the other part of this is you can earn raffle tickets for you earn raffle tickets that you can win new NFTs, some of which are Borks or Zerkers, but then other projects also put NFTs up that you can win. And I think that's a really cool aspect. So it is kind of play and earn. And then, you know, some of the ASA organizations, I guess, for lack of a better term to put it, they'll put out stake too. So sometimes you can, just by playing the game, you can earn some different tokens. What did I earn? Some PayPay one time, maybe? I earned something. I hadn't for a little while, and then all of a sudden one day I earned something. But no, I really like this game. It's a lot of fun, and this is not my favorite mini game of them. I really like the Space Vikings one, which I thought was the other. There's another one where you're like, it's more like Asteroid almost. And I thought that was Space Viking, but this other one's Space Viking. I just think they're doing it. I just really want to support, especially game companies on Algorand that I feel like are doing the right thing. And that's not a knock on other ones. You know, this is the one I just like the simplicity. I love retro games anyway. They're kind of my favorite. So, all right, what else we got here? Yeah, speaking of games, Realms zombie game is actually going live soon. Now, when they posted this, they said within a week, so that might be pretty soon. Let's dive into this here. Yeah, so in case you don't know, Realms is a metaverse project. It's the one, and as far as I know, only metaverse project on the Algorand blockchain, and they have a game associated with it called Realms Zombies. Now, I heard about this. I got some early heads up on this coming out, but Realms Zombies is set to go live on the 16th of April. Earn on-chain gamer points and exchange them for voting power. 20% of the total voting power for the league table has been set aside for Realms games. We have an on-chain leaderboard. All weapons are NFTs and can be traded, gifted. Projects that want votes can acquire powerful weapons for the best gamers and their communities to use, and trade in your gamer points for Arvox via our in-game bank. It can only be used to vote. Arvox cannot be traded. So I am really curious what this game is going to look like. It looks kind of fun. Looks neat from what I've seen from this and other screens, but you haven't gotten my hands on it yet. They said 16th of April, so as I record this, it'll be tomorrow. Ooh, we might have to play. We might have to do some streaming. Although I don't really have a very good, I admit I don't have a very good computer for streaming games. Yeah, a lot of excitement in there. I'm just kind of curious to see how it will go. And I think, so one of the things I always thought was NFTs in games for game items. It always made a lot of sense to me. Like it seems like a really good idea and like the natural solution for it. So it kind of depends on how expensive they are though, because I think when you make the NFTs too expensive, I have no idea what they're charging, by the way, just to be clear. This is more of like an excuse to talk about this topic. I think when they make these items overly expensive, when people buy them, they're expecting ROI. So this was my criticism of Gala. If you were buying a NFT for one of the Gala games, they'd be like in the thousands of dollars. There's no way people are buying that just to play the game. And then the founder of Gala comes out and says, oh no, it was wrong of the community to expect some ROI on this. So like, really? They were just going to spend thousands of dollars on a NFT just to play a game and have fun? I doubt it. I mean, we got people complaining about $80 Nintendo games. You think they're going to pay $2,000 just to play a game? They're definitely expecting ROI. But if these are cheap enough, like then you can make that argument. You know, if it's $10, okay, you pay $10 to have a nice gun in your game. Like you do that in Fortnite or whatever. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But this, we'll be keeping an eye out. We'll do like a more detailed report on zombies when it's out as best I can with the technical limitations that I have, and let's move on to the next item. Actually, we stay on Realms because Realms also has a partnership with this Bitcoin Cardano bridge company. Yeah, why don't we look at this? So Realms shared this. They said, super happy to announce that we've partnered with Omen for Omen. We'll be adding Omen Noah to Realms Fighter. So there's also a fighter game, by the way. They got a zombie game and a fighter game. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Tekken, where they're like a little bit kind of blocky, just kind of like the original Tekken was. I don't know if you remember those back in the PS1 days. I was a big fan of Tekken. I used to really be into fighting games. But anyway, it's a multi-chain project bridging Bitcoin and Cardano. Which I don't know if you remember, there was that big thing about Cardano and Bitcoin kind of forming this partnership. I covered it a while back. I can't remember all the details now, but yeah, pretty cool. And then the last thing I want to get to, yesterday we put a pretty long video together out covering the Gainify situation. And the short version is the Gainify founders said they got disillusioned by the developers. They felt like the developers weren't living up to what they were supposed to do, so they walked away from the project, deleted the Discord, and said, hey, don't put any money on this and get your money off if you can. Well, we dove into it and we heard from one of the developers who said, well, that's not exactly what happened. We agreed to build them a website and have it up and running, and then once that was done, we were done, which is, pretty typical in the software world, especially like websites. Usually the idea is you build a website, it's functional, maybe you have like certain number of changes that fee covers, and then that's it. So that's their side of it. The fact that we can't see the logs because the original founders, not the developers, the founders of Gainify erased the logs when they erased the Discord. I think that to me, that looks really suspicious, but I haven't for sure. I'm not for sure on one side or the other. I think we don't know because we can't see those logs, but I do find it suspicious that they just deleted the Discord. And so that's a really bad sign in my opinion. Like the project is still live. People still have money in there. You should be using the Discord for communication. So that's my thought. Anyway, what happened was the new developer is taking it over, or the developer who worked on it is taking it over and has an update. So let's look at this. So this is from Leo Costa. He was one of the developers who was maligned, and he has a pretty good explanation, and he decided to take it over. Hey, it's late, so I won't be getting into this tonight, but I will be working to ensure Gainify returns to its original functionality, including on staking, claiming rewards, etc. I'd advise no one create a pool until the updates are pushed. And he says basically, so he has class Monday through Friday, so this is kind of a night thing for him. I assume he's like student age then. He says it's not a complicated issue, but needs to be done carefully. He says not done yet, but great progress. Quick explanation, the pools and farms are simply stuck. Imagine mowing the lawn and a rock gets caught in your lawnmower. We just need to remove the rock and the platform will bustle along as it was. So honestly, it's kind of interesting, right? Because on the one hand, part of you thinks, well, to fix this so easy, but I don't know, easy, simple, but might not be easy, or it might be time consuming. So I want to be fair about this. I don't want to dive into over my skis here, but I guess the bottom line is if you had money on Gainify, you know, hang tight because it's going to get fixed. And I guess I wasn't entirely sure, and I'll probably reach out to him at some point, whether he's just taking it over just to unwind it or if he's planning to just keep it. They basically handed the keys over to the developer, which I think is really kind of strange, right? And the developer's like, cool, I'll get it fixed. But they wouldn't pay them to do it for themselves. So I don't know. It's a really confusing situation. You can watch my video for the full details that I released yesterday. But otherwise, that is it for us today. I hope you got something out of this, and really curious to hear what your thoughts on any of the news items that we shared today. Otherwise, I'm FrugalBC. I hope you're well out there, and I will see you in the future.